I'm at Southend on Sea. Let me tell you, it's silly o'clock. I'm here to catch a low tide, a spring low tide. See how we get on. I'm at Southend Pier on a spring low tide. In about an hour's time, it's going to be low tide. It's going to be about 6 millimetres above chart datum. So that's why I've come here today. There's going to be a few days where the tides are going to be really low spring tides, and these are going to be the last really low ones of the year. I used to come down here years ago and look under this pier just out of curiosity to find bait, and I used to find all sorts under here. And take a look at this. Oysters. Oysters galore. Oysters everywhere. Everywhere you can look. Oysters. An old ladder fell down. I'm finding the remains of all sorts of stuff. Gaper clams, cockles, hard shell clams. There's millions of oysters and mussels. Common gobies in the pools. Lots of shore crabs. Nothing too unusual as yet. But for the uninitiated, or for those who are really bothered to care, this is Southend Pier. This is the longest pleasure pier in the world. This goes out over a mile and a third out into the Thames estuary. And it is Southend on Sea's claim to fame, really. That's an edible crab. Albeit a small one. It just shows that they're under Southend Pier. What the hell is that? Look at that, look. That's mad. I'll leave it there just in case. I don't want to get struck down. Right, I'm nearly to the top of the pier. The only trouble is we've got this channel to cross, and I know from past experience that on the way back in this really floods quickly. I've only got my wellies on. If it's too deep, I'm not going to bother to cross it, but I am way offshore here. I crossed here before about 20 years ago in waders, and on the way back the water was so deep it went over the top of me waders and it picked me up off my feet, and it was quite frightening, let me tell you. But I have made it across, and I ain't got long now because it is low tide now. Low tide was at 7 o'clock, it's about 7:15, so I haven't got long now. That's quite that's quite worrying. I've got to cross that channel on the way back. I'm hoping I'm not going to get a welly boot full of water on the way back, but if I have to, obviously I will. I've made it to the end of the pier. I am way offshore here. If this tide turned there, I'd be well in trouble, but I don't think it's going to turn for about another 45 minutes. I've got to be super quick doing what I'm doing here. Just going to have a quick look, see what's around, see if I can find anything interesting, and then get the hell out of here before that tide turns. I don't want to be caught here when that tide is on the turn, because that is a long way back. Wow, there's the station at the end of the pier, and remind me never to fish off of this section of the pier, not on the bottom anyway. That is crazy. Look at all this jumble of wreckage. Look at the fishing line, look. That's unreal. It's like well, it's like an artificial reef. I just haven't got long to explore it, that's all. There's all sorts down here. Hook eyes there. Lead weights. I can see lead weights everywhere here. I ain't leaving them behind. Look at this fishing nets here. It is just so easy to get snagged up and lose your tackle on the end of this pier. Hey, look at that, look. Hermit crab, and he's in there as well, he's alive. There's so much tackle here, look, stuck on this. Hook eye lures. Weights, all sorts. Wow, this is a crazy place to be. It really is. Look at the mussels underneath this pier. It is absolutely full of mussels. And lost tackle. There is an abundance of edible crabs under this pier. Virtually every rock you pick up, there's an edible crab. Look at that, starfish, all sorts. Porcelain crab, look at the size of that. That's as big as you get down in the southwest. Two there. There's a bigger one. Not finding much in the way of fish life, but you know what? I can't hang about, as I keep saying. Another 5 minutes and I'm out of here. There has been edible brown crabs under nearly every rock I've turned over under this pier. I'm really surprised how common they are under here. There, look. There's 3 there straight away. No fish though. I can't hang about here forever. Much as I would love to stay, I've got to make it back now. It's just too much at stake just to make a YouTube video. Until I'm back over that channel, I don't feel safe at all up here. Someone's had a good time, drunk a bottle of rum, threw it over the side. On my way back now. Being this far offshore, it's, even though I'm close to a man-made structure, it's still worrying. I would have loved to have spent more time at the end of the pier there. There's loads to discover under there. It's just not enough time to do it. Here I am back at the channel, ready to cross it. Actually looks shallower than when I was here before, which is just the way I want it. I am now on the right side of the channel, so I can't get cut off now, which is a good thing. Whew. There's a book tied to a brick and thrown off the pier. I mean, I can't see, it's so far gone. I can just about see that that might be English, so that's probably a Bible, I would think. Oh look, and there's that thing that I found earlier. Lugworm digger out there. Don't know what my hair looks like. It's probably a mess, but does it matter? Weren't much under the pier. I was surprised really. In the past I've found a lot more than that. A lot more fish life. A load of little common gobies. But in the past I've found all sorts of fish under this pier. I didn't find not one. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time at the head of the pier. I wish I had more time. But it's quite worrying being that far offshore. I don't want to be a burden on the emergency services or anything like that. If I'm stuck out there all the way up the end there and the tide comes in around me, I no doubt there's people up the end there. There's a lifeboat station there. I could probably climb up the pier and cut all my hands up doing it, but it's not impossible. I don't want to get into that situation, so I didn't have much time up there. I could have probably found more life up there, but just worried really about the situation. In the past I have found under this pier 5-bearded rockling, shanny, viviparous blenny, common goby of course, butterfish, all sorts of fish, but none today apart from the aforementioned common goby, which are everywhere it seems. I'm shocked by the abundance of oysters. They're just a predominant life form under Southend Pier. I mean, if you look over there, I don't know if you can pick it up, but between where I am here and the land, there's a dark band. That's oysters. Millions of oysters. Years ago, off that side of the pier, that used to be a giant mussel bed. It seems like the mussels these days are on the foots of the pilings of the pier, like there, and underneath the head of the pier, right up the other end. But it was worth it to come down and have a look, and that won't be my last time. I will give it a proper look one day, under that head of the pier, a proper look. Another day, another dollar. I'm back down at Southend under the pier because yesterday I came away from here feeling unfulfilled. I didn't have long enough at the end. What with all the turning rocks over and all that sort of stuff, checking stuff out on the shore before the pier head, I don't feel like I got enough time at the end. I didn't film the structure properly, didn't really have a good look. So I'm off down to the end again to see what I can find, just to put my mind at rest, to see if there's anything yesterday that I missed. It's actually a lower tide today. The tide is below chart datum today, apparently. And what with the one tomorrow, they're going to be the last tides of 2019 that are going to be below chart datum. Or as the Americans say, a negative tide. It's a bit chillier today. There's a stiffer breeze. I've got to be early today, so I might get to that channel that I had to cross yesterday. I might have to wait there until it's low enough for me to cross it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm at the channel, but because I'm about 45 minutes earlier at the state of the tide than I was yesterday, it's not fully drained yet, and it looks quite deep. So I've got to wait for that to go down a little bit before I attempt to cross that, I think. Another quite unnerving thing that's happening is that where the water's receding and I'm following the tide out and the ground is still really wet and soaked, it seems a lot like I'm going to sink into the ground. It's quite worrying, but no, if you keep moving around you're alright. You don't stand in the same place for too long. But yeah, I'm just noticing that certain parts that I was walking on yesterday, if you stand still, your feet start to sink in the muddy sand, or the sandy mud, whatever way round you want to call it. I've had a few comments where people have said, are you not worried about quicksand? Yeah, I am. It's not that bad, but it does make you think. So that's another thing I'm paranoid about, and I've got to be aware of. Plenty of these shore crabs under here. This one's been in the wars, he's lost a claw. While I'm waiting for that channel to empty of all the water that's in it, I'm having a little look round where I'm marooned for a little while. There's all sorts of stuff. Brittle stars, all sorts of shellfish, edible crabs. Right, I made it across. Can you believe I'm not the only person out here today? There is another lunatic right at the end of this pier. I can see him. I don't know what he's doing, lugworm digging. Maybe doing the same thing that I'm doing. Metal detecting, God knows. I'll find out in a minute. Right, I had about a 10-minute chat with that fella. A mine of information telling me that you can't always go by you know, like a tide table. Said there's all sorts of factors to look out for, you know, wind direction and high, low pressure, all this kind of thing. So it's not an exact science. If they say it's going to be low at a certain time, sometimes it's not as low as predicted, sometimes it's lower than predicted, depending on variations. It's a really nice fella. He told me a couple of markers to look out for. If I look round and I see the tide is at certain markers, get going. I'm probably going to chat to him on the way back. And he said to me, I didn't expect to see anyone else down here today, and I said the same to him. I said, yeah, likewise. So I feel comfortable knowing there's another fella here. Another fella, a local, who knows what he's talking about. Because although I don't live a million miles away, I've not lived here all my life. I'm having a bit of a closer look at this side of this end of the pier today, because this is what I didn't do yesterday, and I wish I had done. So I'm back here again. Look at this net, look. No wonder there is so much tackle loss. This is a crazy, crazy place to be. And not many people do this, I would imagine. Not for the reason that I'm doing it, just looking around basically. Look at the size under there of that starfish. That's the biggest starfish I've ever seen. It's massive. Whoa. sunk down into the mud there, that weren't nice. Look at the wreckage under here, unbelievable. What a tackle graveyard. I mean, look at this place. Oh, I don't like this little bit, I'm sinking into the mud here. Right, now is the time they give for low tide. So, being a spring tide, sometimes these tides, well, as their name suggests, they spring forward really quickly. So I've really got to keep an eye on what I'm doing. I know I've said it a million times. You're probably fed up with me saying it now. You know the score. Just gonna shut up about it. Wow. There's a theatre. Look at this place. The wreckage under here is unbelievable. I am right at the end of the pier now. Right at the end. That is the Thames estuary. I'm sharing this extreme low tide with a pair of crows and a couple of big boats out in the estuary. I just saw what the crows were picking at. They're picking at that. Is that what you call a sea potato? There's meat inside it still, and the crows were eating it. Or some sort of echinoderm or something related to a sea urchin. Now would you look at all them mussels under that pier? That is a whole heap of mussels. Oh look, it's an octopus. I found a bloody octopus. Look at this, look. Can you believe I found an octopus under Southend Pier? Look at that, look. And it's alive, look at that, look. Whoa! That's a strange thing, that is. Whoa, it's getting hold of me. That's an octopus, look at that. Octopus under Southend Pier. I've got that photo of that. I was thinking of taking this to eat, but you know what? It's not a big octopus, and I'm not sure you get that many here, so oh, that is a weird thing. Shall I pick it up? Oh man, it's trying to grab me. Look at it, look. There's the beak. That's the bit that'll do me damage. That is one crazy creature, that is. Catch and cook octopus, what do you reckon? Or is that too small? I mean, people would take that for bait, wouldn't they? Catch and cook octopus. I'm sorry, buddy, but I reckon you're going to be nice to eat. That is some crazy find for Southend Pier. Never would I have thought I would have found an octopus under Southend Pier. I'm going to put it in the water now. I'm going to see what it does. Whoa, look at the ink coming out of it, look. That's amazing. It's truly amazing. Now that was worth coming down here. Right, I've just decided that's too small to eat. I'm not going to get a good meal out of that. I'm going to let this thing go. I know they don't live for a long while and I might regret it, but if I knew they was common here and I could get loads of them all the time, I might take this, but look at the colour changes. Look, it's unbelievable. That's unreal. I'm going to take some photos of this and let it go. Right, I don't have to catch and kill and eat everything that I catch on this channel. Just the fact that I've found it and recorded it is enough for me. So I'm going to let this guy go. There's enough there to make a meal, I reckon, but you know, not a big meal, just a few mouthfuls with the tentacles. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna hide him properly. Look at the colour change immediately. I'm gonna hide him because I'm worried about the birds getting him. So I'm gonna put him in this cone. Look at the colour of it, look. It's crazy. Changing colours all the time. That is such an awesome creature. It really is. Get in there. Go on, get in. Get right in there. I would say that was well hidden. And normally I'd be saying about all the crap and the rubbish on the bottom under the piers and eyesore, but that's saved the day for the octopus. That's made my day. Caught an octopus under Southend Pier. That's crazy. Who would have thought that? That is crazy. I could have taken it and eaten it, but catch and cook octopus, I'll leave it for another time, I suppose. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Didn't find many fish, didn't find any fish actually. Big starfish, which is not a fish, before you pull me up on that. I'm really glad I come back down here now. I'm really glad. I've captured that on video as well. And I've took a few photos. The colour changes were crazy. And I can see this fella up here I was talking to. He's still up here, he's still digging. He's dug a lot of holes. What an amazing place Southend Pier is, underneath it anyway. So that concludes my What's Under Southend Pier video. Crazy really, what is under there? Not many fish. Disappointed with the lack of fish. I thought I'd find more critters on the shore in the shape of fish, but no. It wasn't to be, but the octopus made up for that. You're not going to believe this. Are you kidding me? There is another octopus, and that is bigger. You know, so there's obviously more octopuses down here. Than I realised. That's unreal. There's another octopus. Now the other one was caught right at the end of the pier. I can't believe my eyes. I'm going to take this one. This is my second opportunity for catch and cook octopus. This is bigger. This one's bigger. And I was thinking of wasting an opportunity maybe there in not taking that other one and doing a catch and cook octopus. This is now my opportunity. This has presented itself. I've let one go. I'm going to take this bigger one.